Hello everyone, welcome to another instructional video. This week we are going to start working on our elevations. But before we start, I just wanted to do a quick recap on this week's lecture. First I'm going to share my screen here. So I wanted to show you this picture again, which I really like, and it's on Easy's slides from Monday's class. And this picture clearly shows what is each of the drawings that we've been working with or working on. Like I mentioned last week, the plan or a floor plan is nothing but a horizontal section of the building. It is built or constructed, the drawing itself is constructed the same way we construct sections or vertical sections. The elevations, on the other hand, are basically side views of that building. So if we have a rectangular building, a rectangular house, this is just like our house for assignment 1, right? This is a rectangular floor plan with a two-slope roof. So if we're looking straight at the side surface or the external side walls, it's like I'm looking straight at it, right? Same here for the front view, front elevation. So before we start, let's take some time to read this elevation 1 and elevation 2, of course. So elevation 1, let's find it on our floor plan. Here is the triangle indicating elevation 1. So I'm here looking straight at this wall. This wall is the side, so it's a side view, it's a side wall of this house. So what am I going to see if I'm standing here looking straight to this facade? I'm going to see this column, a void here, right? There's a void here because this is, again, the porch area. There are no walls here. We'll see a segment of wall, a window, and another segment of wall. All of these covered by a roof, a two-slope roof, because here I have the information that gives me the midline of this roof. So I know it's two slopes. So a two slopes roof that is that covers all this facade, right? That goes from one edge to the other edge, and it actually exceeds the sides here. Oh, sorry, here the columns, the columns line, and this wall line here. So my roof exceeds it, right? And creates this border here that protects the whole structure from water and creates some shading for windows and for the indoors. And yeah, these are called roof eaves, right? These are my roof eaves. All right, so let's go back to the elevations drawings, and we can see here what we just talked about. The column, a void, the segment of wall, our window, the bedroom window, and another segment of wall. Our roof divided by 2 in 2 slopes, right in the middle here, 60 or 600 millimeters eave to the right and to the left. So it's 600 millimeters because I have the dimension here in this section drawing, and also in the floor plan here. but I don't include this dimension here in the elevation because I don't need to repeat the same information over and over in all drawings. Otherwise, it's just, again, too much noise. All right. So one thing that we're going to need to start our elevations is the rest of the drawing set. So we are going to use the floor plan and the section to extract or figure out or check some dimensions that are not here in the elevations, on the elevations. And this is because elevations are not supposed to have too many dimensions on it. They're supposed, like we covered, like we discussed on Monday, they're supposed to show the main facade features and finishing materials, just details in the overall appearance or aesthetics of that facade. So we try to avoid including dimensions, but of course we give the main dimensions of the building, like the total height, and maybe the total height of the roof here. But as for openings and windows, I have included the dimensions here in both elevations, the dimensions of windows, the height of windows, and the distance from the bottom edge of these windows to the ground or to the floor. But we usually don't do that. Typically don't do that. We only include in elevations, we only include total heights. As in any view of vertical surfaces or vertical planes, as in the section is the view of a vertical plane, cut plane here in this case. We only add vertical dimensions. There are a few exceptions. For example, here in the section, we may include a few horizontal dimensions, but typically we tend to keep it to vertical dimensions only. And that is because we would include the horizontal dimensions on the top views, right? On the floor plan and other top views, like the details, which I haven't here on purpose, but there are other top views that basically floor plans and roof plans, we would include horizontal dimensions. And that's to make the drawings, again, clearer and with less noise, to make it easy for people to understand it. You know, imagine if I start to add the horizontal dimensions here, the drawing would be just messy, right? And super busy. So we want to avoid that. Oops. Stop share. So again, make sure you have your floor plan and your section with you to draw the elevations. And I'm going to start drawing the elevation now, just to show you how to start. And as we did for the floor plan, you guys need to first kind of visualize where you want this first section. So we're going to draw, elevation 1, or elevation northeast. We are going to draw it here. The second elevation goes here on the bottom left of your page. And here we'll have, in the future, we'll have the wall detail. So number 3, 4, and 5. Now number 3, we'll start with number 3, northeast elevation. So it's very simple. You'll see that these elevations are much easier than the floor plan. And I will start with, again, construction lines, remember? So I'll start with the floor line here. That's my floor line. Let me share my screen. So I'm going to start from left to right. I'm going to start with these vertical lines, then this one, then the vertical lines of the window, and then this vertical line. All right. Okay. Pretty simple. So the first line we want to draw anything. Again, I'm using construction lines first. Then we have, so it doesn't matter really the height of this column for now. And then I'm just going to mark here the thickness of this column, right? The thickness is, if I'm not wrong, 200, right? 200 divided by 50, that's 4 millimeters. That's our column. Now the void here, we have a void, right? The porch area. Now to calculate the size of this porch area, we have to refer to the floor plan. Here, the floor plan shows that the distance between grid lines, that means the distance between the center line of the columns here and here, is 2,500 millimeters. But I want to know, in order to know the size of this void on my elevation, I need to know the distance between this border here, outline here, outside line, and this outside line here, right here on the column, on the square. So that would be 2,500 minus 100, which is half the column, minus 100 here, which is half this column, right? So that would be so that would be 2,300 millimeters divided by 50. That gives me 46 millimeters, which I will mark here. 46. That's my third vertical line. Don't worry about the height here. These are just construction lines. And I'm going to do the same for all these distance here on my floor plan. So I'm going to divide this by 50, this by 50, this by 50. So that would be 31, the first one, and then 28, the window, and 35, the last segment of wall. Going back to our drawings, I have the measures here. So 31, 28, 35, 35. And that's it. This is can actually be thicker. Okay, so now I'm gonna mark the ceiling height here, somewhere here, right? It's gonna be somewhere here, because I want to know where these wall ends. My drawing shows that this height for the column here is 3125. 3125 divided by 50, 62.5. So I'm just going to mark 62.5 here. And that's it, 62. You see, I should not have done this. Now I got dark lines where I don't need dark lines, but they shouldn't be. Now let's mark the start of my window here and the top edge, bottom edge and top edge. It says, my drawing says 900. This is 18 millimeters. 18 millimeters here. And 1830 divided by 50, 36.6. 36.6. Okay. And our middle line of our window will be somewhere in here. You can just divide it by 2. You can draw a border, like an inner border. And indicate that this is glass. Just do like this. Oh, we have we also have a strip of a bottom strip here of a different finishing, a different material that serves as a protection for this wall against rain water, because the rainwater hits the floor and then the small raindrops would make this wall too moisture and or damp, and we don't want that. That's why we use this protection here. So let's mark it here. It's 300 millimeters high. It will be 6 millimeters on paper, 6 millimeters. Okay. You see how many construction lines? We're going to erase everything that we don't need later. Now, last thing. We're almost done. Yes. We want to mark here, to draw a vertical line outside the wall contours, just to indicate where the roof eaves end, somewhere here, right? They intersect they will intersect this point here, this side and this side, but we don't know how far they go here. So let's just mark 600 to the right and 600 to the left here. So 600 to the right, this is 12 millimeters and 12 millimeters this side. I draw a vertical construction line here and here. That's it. Now we want to know, we know this that our roof is a two-slope roof, and the middle point, the roof ridge is somewhere here in the middle of this house, right? So we basically take this measure here from wall to wall and divide by 2. So we can see here from our floor plan that the total size of this house is 7,000 plus 100 here for half the column, and plus 100 here to the left to account for half this column. So that's 2,200. Sorry, 7,200. 7,200 millimeters divided by 2, because we want to find this point here. This point here. Right? So 7,200 divided by 2, 3,600. 3,600 divided by 50 is for 72 millimeters on our drawing. So I'm just going to go here and mark 72 from this wall or from the other wall. This doesn't matter. We need the middle point here, 72. So our ridge will be somewhere here on this line. This is the middle point, right? It will be somewhere here. Now we need to know at what height from this line here our ridge will be. Let's calculate this. We can find this dimension on the elevation drawings. It's very easy. We know the total height of this house from ridge to floor is 54.23. And we know this height here is 31.25. So we want to know X. We want to know the remaining height here, which will be the height from here to the ridge height here, right? This invisible line here. So let's do this math real quick. This height will be 2298 millimeters, which divided by 50 is 46 millimeters on the drawing. There you go. So we just have, I'm gonna erase this because I just wanted to show you. Okay, now we are going to connect the dots. Okay, now we have 2 dots here. This is an interesting thing now. We have 3 dots, right? But these, we're gonna connect these 2, but we're gonna continue drawing here towards until this line crosses the vertical one that is marking the end of the roof eave, right? The same we'll do on the other side. So we connect these 2 points, but we extend this line until it crosses where the roof eave should finish. The same on the other side. Our roof ends here, it ends here. You see the construction lines? Then we can simply erase this here. Oh, we missed one thing, guys. Okay. There's a detail here that we need to pay attention to. This void here is the porch area, right? And we can see that the ceiling height here is 3,000. It's a little bit lower than this line here. So let's mark 3,000 on our drawing. Stop sharing. Let's mark 3,000 here on our drawing, on this column or on this wall. It doesn't matter. Yeah, let's do it on the wall. So the ceiling height here is 3,000, which is 60 millimeters. Now I can draw the ceiling height. Ceiling height is that one, right? It's a little bit lower than the column. So let's just draw the final lines here. Dark. It's looking good. Okay. And this one. Oh, and there's this one for the column. Yes. Now we can end these two for the, well, they're not so dark. They're not as dark as the wall lines. Now we can erase, basically, we can erase all the other line, the construction lines. Again, don't need to be so picky about it. It's just, construction lines are nice. They show that your drawing is manual and you made it by hand. This is construction as well. This is construction as well. There you go. Now, we want to keep drawing the roof. Now, to draw the rest of the roof, guys, there is no measure here clearly stated, about or giving you the dimensions of the thickness of this roof. What we are going to do is just maybe try to follow roughly the thickness of these roof pieces. So I have now we're not gonna spend too much time drawing the roof structure, okay, guys? The roof sandwich structure that goes here, right? But let me share you some. First, let me show you. There's this roof truss is made of three main components in our drawing, like in our view here. We can see this big wood piece here, and there are these small little squares, and there's a third layer here, a third layer, thinner layer here of something. Let me show you what this something is. This is our first layer in our drawing. This is called rafter. Then we have the battens and the roof sheeting, or the tiles, right? It can be tiles. We can use like metallic roofing. There are different materials. It's actually like more the outside layer, right? That it's protecting the whole building. Okay, so we are going to draw that, but we don't need to be because there are no measurements, there are no dimensions in our elevation. We don't need to be too accurate. So one thing that I would suggest you is just mark here on the ridge line. Mark here a line. You can put, I don't know, maybe 4 millimeters and 4 millimeters here. And on 4 millimeters on the other side. And connect the dots. Here you go. We have our rafters. We'll do that. We'll do the same for the, what is the name again? The battens, right? We can use like 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters this side. 2 millimeters here, and 2 millimeters this side. Now we'll connect the dots here. But please note that the battens here are transversal elements of this roof. So we're seeing them, we're viewing them from like they were cut here. So I will see only their sections, right? The section of these elements. So we can put one here, one close to ridge, another one here. That one is not good. One on the other side, kind of aligned with the left one, with the right one. And one right here. Right, and you can add as many as you want. Yeah, there are others. On our drawing, it's just something like this. Like this, maybe another one here. And last thing, we'll draw a parallel line on top of this last one to show the roof tiles. So as you can see, it's like a sandwich. Done. Look, the details. Okay, the last three things. The last three things are dimensions and hatches to show the different finishings or different materials on this facade. So if this is paint, like just standard painting, we can just do this and show that this is a certain material. All right, so just keep doing this. Look, and here, this bottom stripe here we talked about. Let's do a different. Let's draw a different pattern, and that's really up to you. But I think the easiest way is just to draw some parallel lines here, and then, like if it was made of like horizontal tiles, ceramic tiles, we can do something like this. Some of you were saying that it would be very hard to draw this, but see, it's just a pattern, and instruments are here to help us. And so on, and keep going doing this. That's it. All good, all done. And the next step is adding the dimensions, adding the title block here. Sorry, the titles here, not the title block. Adding the dimensions and the title here, and drawing the second elevation 2 right here, and leave this right side of the paper blank, empty for now, because we're going to need this top right region here to draw the wall detail, right? Guys, I think that was all for today's video. And if you have any questions, you can always ask us at any time. Post your questions on the forum, on our the forum section on our stream site. And again, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye. Have fun.